Once he started getting black people out of jail and giving people that free money, oh, baby, we love Trump. We need him back in office. Yeah, that a little bit of free money goes a long way. We need him back. Does that them checks? Oh, yes, them stimulus checks, Trump. We miss you.
So the question is Sexy Red right? Are black people feeling with Trump? And if they are, should they be voting for Trump? What y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, it seems rock solid to me. I mean, he's funny. He's giving out free checks, and you know, looking at Sexy Red, there's nothing that tells me I shouldn't be taking political advice from that person. So I'm right with him.
There's a certain level of misguidedness, if that's a word, in what she was saying. I don't think that the reason that black people should fuck with Trump has anything to do with stimulus money, and I'd argue that that probably isn't even much of his doing. That was basically a overall process that the entire Congress and you know our entire government set up and really worldwide. But the fact that there is a shift in the black community, whereas when he first stepped into the political game, a lot of black people were completely turned off. And I'm not 100% sure why. Whereas prior to that, he was some sort of celebrity in the black community. There's songs made about him. There's Trump Change is an E40 song that we all probably could recite pretty easily. He was often referred to as a rich person that in the rap game was somewhat admired. And once he got into the political game, things changed under some. I'm not sure what the reason was.
Hey, you got no clue.
I mean, not if you really
What are
look
we
at it.
talking about, man?
Like I honestly, like you can tell me like why people, there's stories about, not stories, but there's things that he said in the past that people brought up, about the I forget what the Central Park Five is one example I know of. I don't know of very many others, but there's
What
things.
about the one where there was a black protester at his rally? He said, "Take that nigga out on the stretcher." I think maybe that turned some people off. I don't know.
Yeah, I've
Could
never
be.
heard
Could
of seen
just.
that,
Could.
and so
Oh, you don't remember that?
I never heard of it. I'm not saying it
I
didn't
didn't hear
happen. I
that
just never heard
before.
of it. So
Yeah, I never heard that one before.
so
I'm
so
That
sure
shit would have been playing on TV. The fucking Democrats would have been posting that
it
shit on
was.
TV
It was.
daily. There's
yeah.
no way they did it, and I missed it.
Oh, all right. Hang
So
on.
find that, but back to the story. What I think has happened is we've seen this shift. We've seen. I think it was since Nixon that there hasn't been this many black people vote for a Republican presidential nominee than what Trump got in 2020. It's not about giving away money. It was opportunity zones. It was, the reform, the prison reform, and getting people out of jail. Kodak Black, I forget the lady's name that was in jail for years that he released. That was pretty high profile that the Kardashians had working with. Um, Harry O from the death row fame. I mean, I can't think of a whole lot of them off the top of my head, but like the prison reform piece was real. The opportunity zones were real. The cutting the taxes to give people opportunities to have more money in their pocket, not off of a stimulus, but off of taxes being cut, and you have better opportunity to use your money to create some wealth out of for yourself. To just giving you a chance by not restricting you, with a lot of regulations. And if you can really look at it logically and tell me that there's other policies that other nominees or other candidates have given that give the black community a better chance, let me know. Because when I look at it, I just don't see it.
Yeah, what do you think,
You
Jamie?
know, I'm kind of with you, Kev. I don't really. So first of all, I stay out of politics because it's too much. People got too much feeling. They're too, and not only that, but I'm not super educated on it because to me, our political party is purple. That's what you get when you mix blue and red. But what I can say is it was green for me, and I've always thought Trump was a great businessman. He don't gotta like my skin color or whatever other bunch of stuff was going on because I haven't heard anything either, mostly because I stay out of it. But when it comes to being a businessman and understanding how money and business works and how valuable it is for America to stay strong and keep it out of the hands of foreigners and all of this stuff, I can respect it. So it wasn't so much the $1,400 check. And so the way she framed it, I kind of hate that that's because this is something that I feel like the Democrats play on. Like, dang, we can get you with $1,400, like yo.
Yeah.
So I just
Oh,
need
we
a.
blaming the
I don't know.
Democrats for that shit too?
No, I'm
That's
basically
convenient.
saying. So what I see in what I do know when it comes to the Democratic Party, they play on emotions. They play on more of the little things, like we're gonna do this for you, and it's like emotional. It's not so much like what are we doing with the root of things. And this is just my opinion. I don't. Again, I don't get into it. I'm not saying either side is this or that. But I'm just
But you
saying
just
this.
did. You just
But
did
what
as
I'm
if
saying,
one party is coldly logically appealing to their voters based on is that what was happening at Trump
well,
rallies? Was
every time
everybody
when I watched what I did see with Kamala and Biden, all that, there was such a big thing. I don't know the way it looks on social
all
media.
of
Well, let
political
me
posturing
finish.
is emotional. It's all
It
based on
doesn't always
emotion.
come down to
All
the
right.
speeches and the posturing. Come down to the policies.
All
So
right.
Yeah, but
policies
when
can
you're
you vote to?
basing policy off of,
But
I
even
heard.
that's emotional because you got to convince people to vote against their own best interests. And
Yeah,
the
but
only
there's
way
a
you can
lot
ever
in
do
there
that is with
about
emotion.
race and LGBTQ and like all of these things that feel emotional to me. It feels more of emotional drive when it comes to that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not going to say that here, but I'm
Here's
just
the
saying that's what the difference is. And I'm saying that for her to be trying to make a point that Trump is her choice because we got a little stimulus check, $1,400. I don't agree with the way she said it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Trump himself, I personally think he's a businessman. And I think when he was in office, there were some things that were going really well that aren't going so well right now. So I'm just looking at the black and white and the red and green as opposed to blue and red. That's all.
right. At the end of the day, Sexy Red crazy as hell. She'll know what the hell she's talking about.
No.
But when it comes to the political parties and how should black people move, black people should just know that right now there's no leverage in their vote. Their vote doesn't mean shit. All right. Like at the end of the day, the black vote means nothing. And the reason it means nothing is because you've given it away constantly for 60 years. I mean, it's easy when we just talk about leverage. How do you get leverage? Make something valuable. Well, how do you make your vote not valuable? Give it away for free every time and make it known that you will never give it to anybody else. That's how you make your vote non-valuable. That's how you make anything non-valuable. You'll never give it to anybody else. You're only going to do one thing with it. That's how you make anything non-valuable. But
It's
when
kind of
people think,
emotional.
yeah, but when people think they have a chance to get something, then things become valuable because now there's demand for it. If there's no value on your vote, there's no demand for it. Nobody gives a shit about it. The people who have it don't care, and the people who don't have it don't care because they know they're not going to get it. So if black people were really serious about having any type of political power in this country, then it don't give a fuck if Donald Trump is in office. It don't give a fuck if fucking Lee Iacocca is the Republican goddamn representative. You got to vote for him just to get your leverage back, just to get any leverage back, just to get any value in your vote. Don't care about white, blue, green, none of that shit. You care about your vote actually having some power, you got to vote a different way. Bottom line. And right now, black people,
Yeah, well,
You can
because
talk
we
all
could be
that political
swayed and
power you
tossed
want.
around with free cheeseburgers and stimulus
Hmm.
checks. So
Yeah, you can
I mean,
talk all
listen,
that.
that was her point. That was her platform. Um, Anybody who thinks that they can get some political wisdom from Sexy Red, I'm not here to talk you out of it. At this point, anybody who's lived through it and still thinks that Donald Trump should be president of the United States, I'm not trying to talk you out of that neither. I mean, both of those make about the same amount of sense to me. But as far as black people are concerned, politically, again, I don't know. I don't have no answers for us.
I wish I was more
Um,
equipped to have this conversation, but I did see a movie, and actually, Larry Elder invited me to this movie premiere. Have you guys heard of the movie Uncle Tom?
Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so it kind of breaks down a lot when it comes to Black folks in politics. And I'm sorry that I cannot speak educationally on it because I don't really retain a lot of facts when it comes to stuff like that. But I do know that it's very valuable. They had a lot of value in that movie, and it's a lot of stuff we don't talk about and probably should as a
Yeah.
Yeah,
Black collective.
yeah,
So maybe
like
check
what?
that out.
yeah. I'll tell you whatever all you need to know about voting. All right, Miles. He said he doesn't have the answers. I do. All right. Here's the answer. If you're black, stop voting Democrat because you're losing power. Bottom line. That's it. Your vote has no
Well,
power.
here's
You continue
something
to do
else
the
to know
same thing
about
over and
voting.
over.
The
Like, I
old saying
remember people
is,
basically telling me I should be voting Democrat because Kamala's a black girl and playing up. Like, we just do silly things that don't have nothing to do with the real stuff to me. And that's why I say emotional. I don't understand it.
yeah,
I
all of
don't.
it's emotional though. There's not one side of the so-called political aisle that plays on emotions to get people to vote for them. I mean, when people tell you that they're going to do shit that just engineering wise is impossible, okay, you just made that drive. Dude, you imagine building a wall like, and then but it feels good, and it's a nice word chant for people. That's emotionalism. It was never going to happen, but so everybody plays on emotion. I don't want to give the impression that one side got a monopoly on that. That's how you get people to vote for you. Otherwise, Ralph Nader would have been the fucking president at some point.
Yeah, this is why
Yeah.
I don't get involved.
Yeah. Mayorkas is talking about they're about to get back to building the wall. So I mean,
Who?
I hear you. The secretary of the
Interior,
no
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, just hold your
Homeland
breath till you
Security,
hear till you see that happen. But I'm
Homeland
talking about the
Security.
political promise. I'm not
I'm not
talking about
saying
this dude
I'm not
Mayorka
saying
who nobody knows
look,
who he is. I'm talking
I
about the politician who made an emotional plea with no
right.
intentions and knowing that you can't actually do that shit. But that's how the game goes. You promise
It's
shit
not
to appeal to people's
that's my
emotions.
point. That's the point I was making. That, like, set all that aside and look at the policies. Look
That's
at the
Why would I
things
set all that aside though?
because you
what
Why would I
should
set
look at
all
the
that aside?
policies. This is
how would
politics,
you
not a
you're a
movie.
grown man who can set that aside and say, okay,
No,
what
I
are the
can.
policies?
I can, but are you held to the shit that comes out of your mouth? Am I?
Look, we like you said, I get it.
That's just a yes or no
Politicians,
question. Now, I don't
there's no way to get elected in politics without just some bluster and some emotion. I agree with you
that's all I
100%.
said. That was my whole
Right,
point.
right. But what I'm saying is, when it comes down to it, somebody's going to be in office. Somebody who gave you some bullshit emotional speech is going to be in office, and they're going to do certain things while they're in office, and they're going to put policies in place while they're in office. What policies are going to help you? And that's it.
Well,
Yeah.
one of them put some religious wackos on the Supreme Court to take away reproductive rights. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's a net negative. Other
Why,
people clearly disagree. So, but listen, like you said, I gotta
how does that impact you, or how does that negatively impact society?
because there's only one way that's ever been shown to reduce poverty anywhere in the world, all over the world. Every time poverty's been reduced, it's been by empowering women. It's been by giving women complete control over their reproductive cycle, and anything that tends to move away from that is a net negative as far as I'm concerned. You don't gotta agree. You don't gotta like it. That's how it's happened.
So you're saying we're going to have that poverty is going to increase as a result of abortion being
No,
federal?
I'm not making an A to B correlation. I'm saying that anything that trends towards removing reproductive rights away from women is a net negative in terms of poverty. When you look at the states, that lead the nation in poverty, they're almost always the states with the most teen motherhood, with the highest rate of out of wedlock. There's nothing positive about that.
But that was prior to any abortion, changes. So that can't be the reason. Like that if you want to tell me that education is the reason, like those are probably the least
No,
educated.
I'm not saying that's the be all and end all. What I'm saying is that those policies I think are regressive. I think they do more harm than
Hold
good.
on. So you telling me that there were more teen moms before Roe versus Wade than after Roe versus Wade? Because
No, I have no way of knowing that.
I will have to severely disagree with that.
You disagreeing with a point I didn't make, but don't let me stop you. Go
Well,
ahead. Knock it out.
you said anywhere, you said there's going to be more poverty anywhere there's teen moms, out of wedlock moms, stuff like that,
Not what I
didn't you?
said either.
Okay, tell me.
No,
Okay, I'm
I said if
sorry.
you
Maybe I
look
You
at the
said there's
misheard you.
more
states,
poverty when people are governing.
if you look at the states that lead in poverty, the correlation is that there's more teen mothers, there's more women, and I'm just talking in terms of America, but this is globally. This is true in sub-Saharan Africa. This is true on the Mongolian steppe. This is anywhere where women have been given full control over their fucking reproductive system within a generation or two, things have gotten better. That's just how that goes.
But
When
I don't feel like that's been the case here in America.
you
I
don't
feel
have to
like
you don't have to feel like that's been
I
the
feel like
case in America. That's
we gave women full reproductive over their organs, and poverty got worse.
when did
It
poverty
became
get
more
worse?
rampant when there became
When?
more single parent families, and more teen
I know,
mothers.
but when was that? Tell me where in
After Roe
America
versus Wade.
nationwide poverty because it kind of feels like you just yanked that out your ass, and I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. When did that happen?
After Roe versus Wade.
So what are we talking about? 1972? You think poverty in America has gotten worse since
Yeah.
1972?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. It hasn't? It was worse before
As far as
1972?
as far as I could see, our economy took off in the 1980s. This became a fucking economic juggernaut, the likes the world has ever seen. But maybe I'm
We've
looking at a
always
different place.
we've been an economic juggernaut for way past 1970. Before 1970, we were an economic juggernaut. I'm just saying.
Not to the extent that it.
I'm just saying the I don't think that it's a direct correlation of poverty is between uh women's right to uh have abortions or not. I don't think that that's
I didn't,
actually
and
been
just to be
correlated
clear, I didn't
between the
say nothing
two.
about abortion. I said control over their reproductive rights. That has to do with contraception. That has to do with birth control. That has to do with just straight up family planning. That includes abortion. But anybody who seeks to lessen that, I think is moving us in the wrong direction. That's
I
it.
think like because the thing that I'm saying when I hear women's rights, women's reproductive rights, I'm thinking, okay, since Roe versus Wade, there's been way more single mothers, single mother households, teen parents. That wasn't even a thing before Roe versus Wade. Like it happened, but it wasn't like a major thing. Now that shit is commonplace. Like that shit is the
So
norm. So I'm just trying to
so the
figure out
fallacy that
like
I think I'm hearing is that you directly correlation is not causation. So I think you're drawing causation from Roe versus Wade to increase teen parenthood. And
No, Miles, it's an argument to what you're saying. You're saying that if women have control over their reproductive rights, that poverty should decrease, or that teen mothers, which are a part of poverty, where there's the most poverty, there's teen mothers, there's single parent families. And what we're saying is that since Roe versus Wade, not just as a result of that, but it should have gotten better when we gave women their reproductive rights, but it didn't.
If that happened in a vacuum, that's A, if it was in a vacuum, and B, Roe versus Wade does not equal reproductive rights. The right to have an abortion is just one small piece of it. I'm talking about in general. Because
every part of what you're talking about has been given, around that time, and things haven't gotten better.
I would disagree with you. I don't think that poverty in this country. I don't think that poverty in this country is anywhere near what it was especially before the civil rights movement, the fucking the mid to late 1960s.
Yeah.
You think there's more poverty now?
Yeah.
I think there's more single parent families. Poverty, I think we'd have to look at some real statistics on like what the levels of poverty are.
I agree, which is why I didn't start talking about that.
Right.
Because none of us is qualified to.
With you on that.
I'm just
But what I'm saying is, like, when you talk about something like single parent, I mean that's clear. Like the number, especially in the Black community, number of single parent families is skyrocketed. And it wasn't.
I didn't say nothing about single parent families.
I didn't
say nothing about that.
Yeah, you said that poverty.
I said teen motherhood
is where you're seeing, and you said single parent families. You said teen mothers, single parent families.
Okay,
but yeah,
I think I think we agree to disagree on that one, and I think we'll have to bring in some statistics next time we have that conversation.
But actually, somebody who can jump in the comments, let us know where they stand on that, because. I don't have enough. This is where we need Larry Elder, Jamie. He would have spit that shit out in about.
He would have had so many facts. We all just would have been like.
And would have been showing 32 pearly whites while he did it with his cool ass.
I know.
But no, the point was that the same people who want to limit abortion rights want to get rid of the morning after pill too. See, it's not about abortion. It's that they need to charge punitive damages for sex. They cannot allow consequence-free sex. That's what's at the bottom of it. I think that kind of shit is regressive. I'm not trying to recruit nobody to my way of thinking.
I get you.
That's it.
Yeah, I disagree, but I get you.
Yeah. All right. Seems like we got off Sexy Red and her brown booty hole.